So I woke up this morning to a video that is really bittersweet. It really made me sad and yet strong because the things that I've been through. This video was of me going back to work after a year not working, and I'm like, ew, I'm so excited, dressed up. But I'll tell you the story before that, leading up to that moment, going back to work. I was working and I loved my job, and I had an accident at work and it messed up my head. Um, I got really hurt in the accident, and a traumatic brain injury. So I had to move in with my dad. I wasn't able to do, I mean, I was fine when I first got hurt, but then the week into going, after that was just a freaking nosedive of everything, mental and physical. I wasn't able to use a fork and knife. That's coordination. I wasn't able to count to 5, perhaps out of memory. My little sister would be there with me counting every day. And, after, I couldn't count to 5, I'm like 1, 3, 7, it's just like I could not count to 5, or I'd be like 1. It'd just take forever to count to 5, and I couldn't for weeks, and it frustrated me. But over a course of probably a few months, I was able to count up to 30 because I was just working so hard. I had physical therapy, occupational therapy, psychologist, chiropractor because my neck and back were messed up. I forget all the therapies I went through to rehab my body and my mind. Socially, my friends were there, really, really, really there for me. But slowly I realized, my role in life before the accident was very social, going out, throwing parties, driving everywhere, and I couldn't drive. I didn't have the coordination. So all of this is coordination, memory, fine motor skills, attention. It was gone. So I was definitely a different person, and I have very compassionate friends that were there. But as time went on, I realized, I'm a different person. And my friends knew I wasn't able to do the things that I used to do. And they didn't become less friends, but, there's that separation because I'm not able to do much. And I want to go fancy places with them. I want to have a full meal without being overstimulated with noise. I wanted to do all that, and sometimes I would try and make myself just to see if I can. And I couldn't. I had to use earplugs, and I'd have to leave early, and I think it became an inconvenience to my friends because they had to kind of work around me, but I know that it really wasn't, and they were really trying to figure out and learn who I was as I was reestablishing myself in this world. So the video I watched after all that work, 1 year after my accident in 2018, I got injured in 2017 in January. I was so excited I was able to go back to work. Occupational therapy or vocational rehab said I can go back to work, and my work accepted me back, and it was only half day, 3 days a week. I was so excited. There's this video where I'm like, hey, woohoo! And so I got back to work, and pretty much not right away, because I was just so driven and focused on doing things and remember. And then I had to remember how to do stuff at work, and hello, memory problem. And I wasn't I really struggled. And then there's fine motor skill things that work, you know, and I had my good days and my bad days, and I really worked through it. Then I wasn't quite getting through, and I don't have ADHD, but I couldn't really keep the attention. It's part of the brain injury. It's like a lot of things. Like I don't have Alzheimer's, but I have a big memory problem. And important things like this, I would remember. People's names, I don't remember. To this day, I look at, someone would tell me, remember we did this, la la la, and I'm like, no, I'd either tell them or they'd figure out that I don't remember. Like, yeah, look at this picture. You have this picture, and here you are doing this. And I'm like, I don't remember. So, this whole time, since 2017, majority of the stories or past experiences are like living through a dream, recreating it in like a movie. Like, okay, they're telling me this happened. I see the photo, but I have to kind of create it in my mind, not to make the memory, but just to create the memory as a new one. And I remember little pieces that kind of come together. I think that's how movies are made. Anyways, I couldn't. I told work, and I told my therapist I had a hard time going back to work after a few months, and the doctor says, okay, well, let's work on. Well, first of all, I wasn't getting any sleep. Of course, I was depressed. So I took Zoloft, and I had an allergic reaction. Like, my throat gets swollen, my face gets swollen. Got off of that. I wasn't sleeping until this past year. I only slept 2 to 3 hours a night, and that'll make anyone crazy. So they tried Ambien and Benadryl and stuff like that. Same thing. My body was like, nope, we're gonna do it on our own the hard way. And my throat would swell up, my face would swell up. I'd have a hard time breathing. Get off of that. Then I was like, okay, I still need help focusing at work. So, okay, we'll try Adderall. You don't have ADHD, but it's from the brain injury, you have these kind of problems. Let's try Adderall. I'm like, okay, yes, because I really want to work. I really want to get back to work. I really want to help the people that I was helping in my job. And so we tried Adderall, and I didn't even have one day of clarity on Adderall. I had the opposite. And so I wasn't able to work anymore. And the reason is I became suicidal. An adverse reaction from the Adderall is I became suicidal. So I had to stop working. And just around that time, in 2019, is when the whole Sherwood's movement came up. So I'm like kind of shifting from, oh crap, I can't work, but I can hold signs. So, and my heart was in it because it's in my community, and it was horrible to see destruction when I'm going through a destructive time in my life. So I focused my energy on that as I was not able to work, and I stopped working. But the adverse reaction from Adderall was I tried to kill myself 6 times within a few months. And it's really weird. And the only people that can understand this is people that were clinically depressed, that were clinically suicidal. I didn't have a purpose in this world. And I was fine with leaving. I don't have any kids. I love kids, but I don't have any kids, so I have really no responsibility towards that. So I was fine with it. Yes, family would be hurt, friends would be hurt, but I was hurting, and suicide is selfish, but at the same time, a lot of people aren't in the frame of mind of thinking of other people or the effect of you dying, because you're in it so deep that it doesn't become a selfish thing, that there's just like nothing else exists. This is like done. I am out. So I pretty much planned my funeral. I wanted to donate my body to science. I wanted, I got all my paperwork in order. And it must have been hell for my family and friends, but I was really set on, I'm going, you guys. I don't have much, but certain people can have my really cool trinkets. My car can go to my sister, and that's it. That's all I need to worry about. So, of course, then I was going to therapy a few times a week, sometimes 4 or 5. And the thing is, since I had so much adverse reactions to medications, I wasn't able to be hospitalized. And it's just really, I don't even know how to, there's a real big contrast of wanting to die, but maybe this is my last chance to actually live. So I'm going to try my hardest, but I'm also going to keep on trying to kill myself during that time. That's why there's like several attempts. So I, this is another part of the brain injury. Sometimes I just blank out. I just boop. Like, okay, I talked, I think it's almost 12 minutes and my brain just kind of fizzles out. This is real. This is what I go through. The train of thought is just gone. But I know we're talking about doctors and Adderall. So I wanted to die. Oh, so my psychiatrist says, hey, I have a doctor I want you to see. It's transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's invasive, and it'll help reset your mind to not want to be suicidal. Okay. Like, what do I have to lose? What, I die? Not funny, but I went through that. So I met the transcranial stimulation guy, and at the same time, different doctors were working so hard at the same time. So just so happened they got it. So like vocational rehab's talking to me, so I can plan to go back to work. I have this little light I see at the end of the tunnel. And just at that time, they're trying to get me through transcranial magnetic stimulation. And I'm like, okay, yes, okay, I wanted to go back to work. And if I can't, then I'm going to, whatever, continue. So I go to see this transcranial magnetic stimulation doctor, and I tell him my story just like this. And he says, I can't help you. I really want to, but I think your situation is really acute, and you'd have to go to see the one of the head psychiatrists at Queens, or psychologist, and he's gonna assess you. But I want to let you know that he might want to get you into electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, electroshock therapy. I was like, oh, not knowing what it is, so sure, whatever. So not only that, it's like 2 days later, and I'm like, whoa, okay. And usually when you go to the doctor, you're waiting months to get an appointment. 2 days later, I have this appointment with this new doctor, and he talks to me, he assesses me. He's like, you can't be hospitalized. I thought it would be the safest option for me, because I'd be watched. Still thinking, like, still so tipsy-topsy, I can go back to work. I will do this because I can go back to work. At the same time, I don't give a fuck. I want to die. So he's like, we're gonna do electroshock therapy. I want to do at least, like, I think he said 10 sessions. And I was like, sure, what is it? And it's full on, like, getting your head reset. Like that movie, my favorite movie that I can't remember. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Yeah, I think it was. Um, so I was like, ooh, that's intense. And he's like, it's, inpatient or outpatient. You just go in, get checked, and you do your thing. You get ECT, and then it takes a couple hours to recover, and then do it again in a couple days. So in the beginning, I was going 3 days a week. Well, first of all, he got me the appointment 2 days after I initially talked to him. I went straight into it. You're like, oh shit, she's gonna die. We're gonna get her into get ECT. That whole experience was heavy because, and I'm so thankful to have my friend Albert there that would wake up. Hello, who would wake up at 5 a.m. like 3 days a week, change their schedule to bring me to get shocked and be there through the recovery. So thank you, Albert. So it was tough because some days I'm like, oh, in and out, boom. Some days I go out and I can't walk. Hold that thought. I also, in the very beginning after my accident, I couldn't even crawl. Yeah, I can walk slowly because my body's all messed up, but my friend Kanika had told me, why don't you, she knows a lot about, she does body work, and she says, don't get mad at me. You can cry and punch me, but I want to see if you can crawl. I'm like, I can crawl. So I started, she's like, okay, hands and knees and go. And I'm like, oh, I can't. I didn't have the coordination. To this day, I can't ride a bicycle. Like I did a little bit, and I tried again, and a couple days ago, and I can't. So good days and bad days. So I couldn't even crawl. And then, so this reminds me of ECT. Some days I couldn't walk, and some days I didn't know my name. Some days, but then my memory got really bad because that's also, I already had bad memory from the accident, but ECT takes away your memory. It's part of resetting your brain. So my memory to this day is really, really bad. I write shit down. I take pictures just so I can remember my day, and I can look back. Let's go scroll through my pictures. Oh yeah, this is what I did that day. Oh yes, I did do that because I have this picture. And it's the same thing. I'm creating this movie of my life when I don't remember. So it took 6 months, and ECT is hard. It's hard on the body. It's hard on the mind. You're down for days. But the more I did it, the less suicidal I was. And some days I still have my bad days, and that's when I can just pick up the phone and call my psychologist or psychiatrist. But I made it. And during all that, I made it, I believe, because my new purpose was saving Sherwoods. That family, that space, the people that first settled there, the legacy. I had something to do with that. I contributed my life. So it's not this heaviness. I put everything I have, because I had nothing to lose, everything I have into fighting to save that space. So they finally adjusted my medicine. So I'm like, it took 5 years to adjust the medicine correctly to get 5 hours. Okay, so from like 1-2 hours and 5 years ago, I'm now getting like 5 hours. Sometimes I get 3 or 4, but then sometimes once a year, I'll get like 8 hours of sleep once or twice a year. So that helps, and the people around me help a lot. And but still, seeing that video of me being so happy and accomplished and going back to work and, just putting things behind me and just moving forward. I'm not able to work. I can only work 1 hour, like a few days a week, because as you see, going on 20 minutes, I'm tired. I am fatigued right now. I am having trouble like remembering things right now because I've been doing something for 20 minutes and it freaking pisses me off. But this is who I am. So I just try to do a lot of meditation, get out, call friends when I need them. I'm not independent. I have my independent moments where I can walk on the beach and do crafts. Actually, I live off of doing my crafts right now. Workers' comp is phasing out. Social Security didn't go through, and I'm going to try and reapply. But if I live off of my work, my crafts, wood burning is like $60 to $80 a month. Luckily, I have a roof over my head and a good support system, but and Kahi's been helping me a lot through it. But I have my bubble. At this time is supposed to be just smaller and smaller as this pandemic gets worse. But I have my bubbles are a little extended because I need that network. And I know everyone's going through a rough time, but you can make it through. You might, like me, not have much purpose, but people need you, and there is beauty on the horizon. And I don't know how to end this video because I'm sad again. So just be aware. I think the key here is awareness, self-awareness, knowing and processing what you're going through, and accepting is hard because it's ever changing, but just hang in there.